Hello everyone, I'm going to try this again. The last time I tried to record this video, I started a few minutes in and I realized that my audio settings were messed up and that you couldn't hear me. Now they seem to be running a lot better, so let's try this again. This is episode 5 of Talk Therapy Through Gaming. I really enjoy all the feedback. I really enjoy everyone interacting with me. The most helpful thing for me has been people actually interacting with me about the content and saying, this is what I really liked and these are the parts I liked and this is what you can improve on. A lot more people have viewed this than I thought. A lot more people have liked this than I thought. And thank you. My self-esteem isn't really tied to the likes and the views. It just really is more of a metric for me to see how many people are engaging, because I'm still doing this project for myself, to really help myself grow and develop. So the best thing that you could do if you watch this video is that you could just leave a comment, so that I could find ways to improve and provide more value. Today's drink of the day is going to be green tea. We're going to play League of Legends again. I think that it was a great enclosed experience. You get some closure, you see whether I win or lose. The next episode is going to be Age of Empires. I have the HD version. I haven't played that in about 20 years, so we're going to crack that out, and that should be fun and exciting. And I have my notes. Here they are. Here's my notes. And you should know that it's probably going to be a good episode. If I look down, it's probably because I can't remember anything and I need to consult my notes. I hope that you find this valuable. I hope that you find it interesting, and I hope that it retains your attention. So the episode of today is going to be, how should I say this? The episode of today is going to be how to balance the balance between order and chaos in your life, and how to bridge the gap between structure and creativity, based on my experiences. Anybody that watches this should know that these are just my opinions, and this is my experience and my perspective on life from the angle from which I view it. So maybe people are smarter than me and they have more of the data, or maybe people have a different perspective, and I would love to actually hear that, because this is really about growth. One thing I will say that's been really great about this show is that it has created a positive feedback loop in my life. I would say that it's forcing me, if I want to produce good content, it's forcing me to read more and consume more content, so that I like blogs and books, and I've gotten back into reading, so that when I come to the show, I appear prepared. I appear prepared with a message and material. So this idea of order and chaos was something that I picked up from Peterson, and I really liked it just because it really laid out the two different forces that were at work in my life and most people's life. Order, in a good sense, being structure and things are running efficiently. Order, in the most extreme sense to me, is something that's boring and too safe and kind of dull and vanilla. Chaos, in a good sense, being creativity and creating something new and problem solving and figuring something out, and chaos in a bad sense being not everything's out of control and having no ability to be efficient at all. So here's why this was important to me, and I'll start it off by telling you a little bit of a story. So when I was younger and I was in the chef field, I felt very insecure about my own abilities. And even to this day, I often feel really insecure about my own abilities to cook. And I think it goes back further into my childhood. I would say that when I was young, I was dealing with a lot of family childhood traumas and just getting by emotionally and financially, and other things were going on that I didn't mature in a certain way that I should have matured. I didn't take the time to explore. I felt very afraid by my own temperament and by what I was going through to take risks, and I didn't learn a lot of who I was and develop my own skills. So I kind of made a lot of lazy mental decisions. So when I got into the culinary field, especially when I got into the chef world, I saw people that had this natural ability to be creative, and I knew that I didn't have that about this particular subject. And so they would come in an hour early. They were naturally interested, and because they were naturally interested in something, they were able to develop a lot faster and a lot further than I was able to develop, because they were willing to do more for less. I saw this, and I knew that it was always a weakness of mine, so I always felt insecure. Sorry, that was the door closing because the wind's blowing. I believe that there's creativity is one of those things that some of it is genetic, yes, and I believe that there's only that you do have a ceiling as a person for how far you can develop, but I think that there's a lot of jobs nowadays that require little to no brain power, meaning there isn't enough challenging you, and you get in and you get your system set and then you get bored. And so one of the things that I figured out about creativity, I'm a very structured person. My bills are paid on time. I get everywhere I need to go on time. My house is in order as far as cleanliness. I take care of the things I need to take care of as soon as they come up. I'm very structured. If I looked at this system as a sliding scale where 1 is the ultimate structure and 10 is the ultimate chaos, I would say I was probably about a 3 as far as efficiency. Which means that I need to step up my level of creativity to create a better balance. I used to view things in the world that I didn't understand, different career fields, almost as if they were magic, and I couldn't understand even the basic principles of how things worked, how different people got in different jobs. I became very interested in how people took their little micro decisions, see, we're noting an older episode, to get themselves where they got to in life. And I looked at everything as it was magic, and I didn't understand it, and I couldn't understand creative people, and I began to feel really depressed. And I began to feel like, oh, I'm not like them, and those people are really producing high-level art. And then I kind of started restructuring my idea of creativity and chaos in my brain, and I actually found a way to make it work for me. And the way that I found a way to make it work was I realized through being a chef that there wasn't really a secret. The secret was learning the fundamentals of a career. So, for instance, I learned how to make purees, and then I learned how to grill, and then I learned how to blanch vegetables, and then I learned how to do different management things. I learned how to schedule. And what I realized was that the most creative people, they just had a higher level understanding of those fundamentals than I did. And that's really what creativity was. And so for me, as a structured person, it made it more attainable for me to become more creative by just learning the different fundamentals and then learning different ways to piece them together. The higher levels of understanding that you have about a craft, whether that's woodworking or metalworking or whether you're a plumber or an electrician, it's just a more complex way of solving problems. And so I began to learn more of the fundamentals, and I believe that I have a good, solid understanding of how things work. Being naturally interested in something is going to allow you to learn those fundamentals faster and ultimately become more proficient at whatever career that you choose to become proficient at. I also restructured order or structure in my mind from a creative person's perspective, where I thought to myself, let's say that you're a really creative person and you really are focused on things and you just can't get any structure in your life. I found that really creative people, they focus on the smallest details, something that I don't do very well and I'm currently working on, and that's what sets them above everyone else in their respective fields, is that they look at every single detail and they realize that every single detail matters to what they're doing. And so you can apply that principle to even really basic systems of getting somewhere on time and looking at every single detail and finding a kind of manipulating structure to make it work for you. And so if you're a 10 out of 10 creativity, you can find a way maybe to become an 8. And if you're a 2 out of 10 leaning more towards structure, you can find a way by learning fundamentals of a field to become a little bit more creative. Now, you're not going to go from a 2 to a 10, but you can achieve a higher level of balance, and that to me has given me a little bit of hope in my life that I can figure out systems and how to do things and really achieve the things that I want to achieve. I really think that that's the point that I want to leave you with before we jump into the game, is develop some skills, try to figure some things out, be kind to yourself, don't be hard on yourself. Just try to figure some things out, try to do what you can, and I think that you're ultimately going to see a more positive result in your life. So with that, I think that we're going to jump into the game. I'm really excited. Last time we won. I think that we'll just do one game. My son's currently taking a nap, so I have some time to film this. I'm just getting the game loaded up here, and you know, while we are waiting for this to load up, we'll continue talking about things. Okay, so alright, looking for a match, and then once I see that things are loading up, I'll switch over to the game screen and we can jump into the game and start playing. So let me turn that volume down. Oh, I think that we already have some matches, so let's go ahead and switch over. And here we go. I've been doing a lot more reading lately, and it's been quite interesting. We have declined. So one of my bigger insecurities was that I felt that I was very, what's the word for it? I was very unintelligent, and I didn't have a lot of knowledge of things. Like, I'm terrible at trivia games, and there's still elements of that that are true. So instead of feeling upset, I tried to sit down for 15 minutes every day and read a book. My two favorite books from last year were Sapiens and 12 Rules for Life. Sapiens was really amazing, and 12 Rules was really amazing. They were really difficult for me to read. But I really have felt myself stretching my brain out like a muscle and actually achieving a certain level of success. So let's see here. I always play support, and this is one thing that I've always found really interesting about video games and really quite fun. Let's play Soraka. We had fun with her last time. So, what was I just going to say? One of the interesting things about playing video games, especially competitive games, so I always get rid of Yas because everybody wants to play Yas.
No cure for fools.
So, one of the things I find interesting about video games is that, especially competitive games, is that you tend to play a character in a game that you would play in real life. And I find that concept to be utterly fascinating, that even in a different realm of reality, you still find a way to manifest yourself through a game. I play support. I like to help people. I like to help build people's self-esteem. I like to motivate people. I just think the balance between, anger and hope, I would say, is off. I think we don't like ourselves very much, and so I try to balance the scales out at least a little bit. So I like to play support. For those of you that have never played this game, which mostly everyone that has watched this has, there are 3 different lanes. You can see my mouse cursor here: mid, top, and bottom. The objective is, we got kicked out. Look at that, somebody canceled. Probably because they didn't get to play the character that they wanted to play, because this is Iron League. After I realized that I was in Iron League, which is the bottom of the barrel, I just found that so funny. I found it just it's so fitting. So if you're watching these videos and you're trying to glean something from them, I can assure you that it's not gameplay, and it's not walkthroughs, and it's not you're not watching this for any technical ability. This is more of me talking through things and then rewarding myself by playing a little bit of games. So you're definitely not going to be watching this for stellar gameplay footage, but we're gonna do it anyways. But yeah, I mean, this idea of trying to help myself to become more creative and do more things has been something that's been on my mind quite a bit lately. Especially with having a kid, I think that it generates a lot of perspective that I want to pass on to my son. And the episode that we're going to talk about next week, or whenever I film, probably support. I want to be Soraka. So the next episode that we're going to do, I've already got the idea in my head, I just need to flesh out my thoughts, is the importance of modeling in, yes, the importance of modeling for developing children's self-esteem based on my perspective. So, because I think it's super important, and we're going to talk about that a bunch next week. So once we get past the screen, if you've never played this game before, I'll kind of lay it out for you so that you can have a little bit better understanding. Alright, so this is what everybody's banned. They've kicked those people out. We take turns picking, so really it's the same idea. You have a mid lane, a top lane, and a bottom lane. Your bottom lane is normally your strongest character physically, but they're the weakest with health, so you need a support character there to protect them. Mid is normally magic, top is not normally physically damaged, and we are out again. The good thing about this is that every single time someone backs out intentionally, they have to be on a cooldown period. I will say that over the years, I think that League of Legends has done a really good job fixing a lot of these problems, helping you pre-pick your role here. This has been really great, especially for someone like me, so that you're not fighting with people and then everyone's just picking who they want and then everyone loses. So here we are again. I get to pick first on my team. Okay. So these are the most played supports up here. Soraka's been one of my favorite lately. I feel like I get to do a lot with her. My dog's upset because everything's about her, because she's a terrier, and that's not okay. Oh, I was trying to cheat. I was trying to ban Yas, like doing it that way.
No cure for fools.
Okay. So we're gonna try this again. Okay, bans are going in. Everybody's got their bans. Cool. None of those are my character, so no one's actually going to ban Soraka.
Let me guide you.
I want to thank everyone again for, really. This was something that the idea of talking and putting yourself out into the world and then you can't take it back was a really difficult idea. And I waited a really long time to make some content. But now that I have begun to make content, I'm finding it really enjoyable. I have found that I was getting kind of depressed playing games because I felt like I wanted to do something productive with my time, and so I think that this is a really good balance between the two, where as I get older I've become especially aware of time and the limited amount of time, and I've been looking for my niche to try to find value, or to bring value, excuse me. And so this has been a really good way. I also, there's so many different things that, we actually all picked. So we're going to actually play a game today. So I think we're just going to play one for right now because I don't want to push it with my son taking a nap and then having to stop. I want to just film a complete episode and be done with it. So, away we go. I want to make sure here that this is going the right way. Screen capture, okay, and then all right, we're in. The magic of computers. I definitely just spilled tea all over myself. That's one of the things I hate about myself that's never gone away. Is I'm like the messiest eater. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with it. I am definitely one of the messiest eaters. I can't be bothered to slow down and take a drink of tea without spilling it all over myself. This is crazy talk. Who could be bothered with that? I can't. So it's looking good for us. I don't know. I like my fundamentals in this game are so bad, protecting my ADC and that I don't know. I have no idea whether this is a good team composition or not. Normally what I find happens in Iron League, which is the bottom, is something like this. Like one guy, one person just carries the whole game. Like somebody with an actual inkling of skill comes in and they just normally carry. They normally carry you to victory. But we are going to see what we can do. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening to me kind of rant and do my talk therapy. And now we're going in. In theory, we're at 100%. All right, here we go.
Where am I needed?
Okay, so I go to the bottom. The idea, if you've never played this game before, is that you march up here. You can see my cursor in the bottom right. You march up here, you knock down the towers, you work your way, and then the objective is to destroy this big building here. Once you destroy the building, that's the only building you have to destroy. You win the game. So
30 seconds until
these guys look like they're going for some sort of move, and I'm not really super interested in doing that. I just really just want to focus on the fundamentals.
Every step, a new journey.
So yeah, there's a lot of different strategies that you can use here. You can hide in the bushes. It looks like we're gonna try to help our team out.
Minions have spawned.
Truth. For peace
Darkness.
of mind.
Oh, I'm not sure what's gonna happen here. Looks like some big team fight.
I lend my aid.
These people are just obsessed here with, like, people oftentimes want to treat this game like it's team deathmatch, and oh, we might actually make something happen. Alright, wow, that actually went insanely well.
This is
That was, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here, but that somehow I did well. So as being support, I'm not really supposed to be getting kills. Up here you can see 2-0 as far as team kills and team deaths. Here's my stats, kills, deaths, assists. So you can see that I assisted in both of those kills, which just means I did a little bit of damage.
to heal and protect.
I think I'm going to put my ward. The wards help you to see in areas where you normally couldn't see. Wow. This was the lamest game I've ever played. They gave up. Maybe we can get one more in. I mean, I don't know. They gave up. That's good. That'll help me get promoted to my next league, so I can probably get. So I always pick support. I pick Phil. So let's look at my profile here. Oh, that's interesting. Even if you get a win, if they forfeit and you win, then you don't get the points for it. So they have a cool leveling up system here where you grind your way up to 100 points and then you can get into the next league. A lot of these leagues are very reminiscent of like football for the rest of the world, where you have 100 people in a league and then there's another league above that and you can get promoted and people can get demoted. So I like it. Sometimes it gets a little bit dry because you're just grinding all the time. Okay, so we're gonna try one more time. I'm gonna do this here. No, Soraka. I do like Sona a lot. This game was free, if anybody's never played it before, so it's worth trying. It's definitely worth trying.
No cure for fools.
All right. Take a break, sip some tea. Wait till we get in game. If there are concepts or ideas that you want me to talk about, please leave comments. I would love to consider those for future episodes. I think that I might only do like a 10-episode season of these videos, so maybe only 5 more after this, and then maybe I'll move on to some other idea that I have, and then I'll post videos of me just playing games for fun that are not associated with this. But right now, I'm feeling it. I'm liking it. I've been doing a lot of work, writing down, fleshing out my thoughts before I get into episodes. And other than that episode 3, which while I was recording it, I was tired, and I knew while I was recording it, I was like, man, this is bad. This is really bad.
Let me guide you.
Other than that episode, it felt great. So, I think that getting back to the concept of the day of structure and creativity, I really think it's undervalued in society today to develop a high level of competency at one or two things. And that's a scary idea, because it means that you're gonna have to sacrifice like what could be potentially for what actually is what it's really going to be. So that can be a scary thought, to give up the potential of, the grass is always greener on the other side, and actually say, this is what it is. This is what I'm choosing. I always love reading the comment section down here, which I never contribute to because it's almost never positive. It's like they're asking this guy, are you good at this character? And it's like, well, he's not gonna say no. It's just interesting. He's not gonna be like, no, I'm really bad. I'm actually the worst Master Yi that you've ever seen. And my dog is driving me nuts. The click-clacking on the floor drives me absolutely insane. So we're gonna try this again. So we won the last game. We won the last game just because they gave up. And that tends to happen in the lower leagues, where they try one push and then, oh, that didn't work, so let's just back out of here. You see that a lot. You see that in a lot of different games. But I've really, really enjoyed playing this game. This is probably the number 2 or number 3 game that I've spent the most amount of time playing in my life casually. So, really enjoy it. Really into it. I'm trying to think, because there's been a lot of waiting in this episode, which has been good because I think I've been a little bit more talkative, and that's allowing me to fill some of the dead space while we're just sitting staring at a screen waiting for something to happen. But I'm trying to think if I can expand any more on these ideas to give you any more insight onto the things I've been thinking about, and maybe something that can help you. One of the things I want to show people is like it's okay to be vulnerable. I think this is part of it, and I think it's me showing myself that it's okay to be vulnerable, but in a way it's trying to show other people that if there's a way out of things, if there's a way to make the world a little bit better, it's going to be through talking and through communication, and not just like making blanket statements, but by having these more long form conversations and getting to the bottom of some things within your life. I will say that after I film these episodes, the ones that I've put the work into and then I've really talked through prior to filming, I will say that I feel better. It does feel a lot. I feel like a weight has lifted off my chest. And this is something that I've done a lot of counseling in my life, and I've always quite enjoyed it. Because I think that counseling is mostly reserved for introverts, I would say, probably, right? Because extroverts, they don't really keep their feelings inside. They kind of wear their feelings on their sleeve, typically. All right, that's good tea. Thanks, Nathaniel. All right, we're at 100%, so we're going to try to get through one game. All right, here we are again. Let's try this again. Okay, so we go to the bottom.
Never waste a breath.
No, I don't want to be doing. These guys are always wanting to do a big giant team fight. I'm not feeling it. Oh man.
Every step.
This game is much more than people understand, especially, I mean, I've watched a ton, and it's just my fundamentals are bad, but I do understand some of the strategy. This is more of an objective here, this game. Oh, they got him. I can't believe they got this guy twice in a row.
Peace of mind.
They got him again. I can't believe that. Just never happens.
Minions have spawned.
Oh my goodness. So sometimes this is why people do this. They come over here, these things are super powerful, and they give you extra abilities, and so we come steal it from them. Because it takes a long time for it to come back. So that's essentially what's happening there, is trying to steal that from them, then they don't get to have the power-ups, and
Protect.
you have the power-ups. Alright, so now I can see what's going on. Missed. Boom. Up here. Alright. So far not going great. Alright.
By the power of the storm.
Alright. Now they're pushing up. Oh, they're going for something exciting. Got him that time. Good job. Trying to keep my friend's life up. Got another one. we're trying to do here is we're trying to push the line back and forth so that it gets closer to each other's tower. Got him that time. So then as these things go on their own, they can do damage to the tower and eventually knock the tower down. It's like a nice back and forth. So I try to go slow. Take your time. It's a long game. I'm running out here. Oops, I didn't mean to steal that.
Never wait.
Oops, there was some lag there, you see that? Alright, we did it. We healed up, we got out of there. Good job. That guy was coming in to try to get us on the side here. I'm running out of juice.
For peace of mind.
Might be time for me to head back because I'm not necessarily doing anything for this guy, but also, like, maybe I should say. Alright, here we go. Let's see what happens here. Just keep pushing. Alright, while this guy's here, I'm gonna head back, try to buy some things, restore all my magic, and see if I can come. Oops, did I get hit? That was rude. Oh, no issues. Alright, he overextended there. So we're currently winning by 1 kill. Looks like all the lanes are doing okay. Alright. Let's go.
This is my path.
Here we go. 5-second tea break. This is where the game becomes strategy because you can see all these dark areas here. You can't tell where they are. And that's why someone like me is supposed to drop down rewards. Sorry, not rewards. I was thinking in my head wards. So that we can see for a little bit of time. So we'll come out here. Drop a ward here.
Where
I still haven't died yet, so very least. That was good too.
The whole world can know.
job. Get him. Oh man. That was really good. Silenced him as he was using his
Never
ultimate.
waste a breath.
Let's go try to do some damage to the tower. Good job.
Every step, a new journey.
Let's see how far we can get with this. Good job. We are I'm doing okay. I've definitely contributed, which is good. Alright, keeping it nailed up, keeping everybody going the way that they're going. Let's just see here. We're going to take our time.
An ally has been slain.
Gracefully.
There's some lag there. Okay, we're back guarding our tower here. Not sure what's gonna happen here. Drop a warp here so we can see. Bad for that guy, dude. Got killed again. Well, good news is still haven't died, which is good. At all. 950. Let's see if I can buy anything to start piecing this essential item together. Health regen. Okay, here we go, guys. 11 minutes in, and our tower has not fallen. Okay, there's Clint.
An enemy has been slain.
Okay, let's see here. What does this do? Stasis. It freezes me in place.
I lend
Alright.
my aid.
We are... Oh. Bad news.
By the power of the stars.
Here we go. We're gonna go off the tower again, see if we can get the tower to block. Alright, biggest block here. Let's keep going. Yeah, we don't know where our enemies are. Alright. It took a long time to get back. We went back behind our tower here. Went back behind our creep wave. No. My job is to keep her from getting blast hits.
The whole world in battle.
Turret plate will fall soon.
Okay, we're doing good. We are doing really well here. Keeping. That was bad news.
Take over.
Good job, man. Got him. Really got him. Good job. Just enough. There it is. We got the tower down. Good job. Okay. Okay, back here, let's buy some equipment. Buy our boots. Okay. There you go. Alright, now we can move, rotate over to try to help someone else out. Okay. Alright. Now I can use my wards here. Start putting wards down so we can see what's going on.
Gracefully.
Some kind of dragon. Good job. I got my first step. But maybe it wouldn't because I'm not that bad. Six. Alright.
An enemy has been slain.
Okay, we're doing really well. I have 8 assists and only 1 death, so I feel like this is going to turn into a landslide real quick. I've done a good job helping the character that I was defending. His name's Quinn. Get boosted up.
This is my path.
Okay.
Violence cannot go unanswered.
Keeping my friends healed up here. Got him. Good job.
Where am I needed?
Got the tower. Good job, guys. This was a really good so far first. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that was bad. I was out of alignment. Okay. But, so that was a mistake on my part, but I feel like I've done enough. I do feel like I've done enough to kind of turn the tide of this battle in a way. 8 seconds until I respawn. If you look at my cursor here. let's just not make too many mistakes. And I feel like we could easily win this game. It just takes me a little bit longer to get in the action. Let's see.
Never waste a breath.
Okay, we're setting things up. We're not playing too aggressively here.
Every step, a new journey.
The idea was to draw him out and make him overextend, which I believe that we were successful in doing that.
Enemy has been slain.
Oh, that was really bad. I'm kind of losing focus right now. Okay, I'm gonna start paying attention a little bit more closely. So then, beyond this is like, I don't know. I'm gonna go with this increases ability power. Okay, here I come. Slow.
To heal.
Let's see here. It appears that everyone is leaving. So then I will do my part to
I heed their call.
make sure that that doesn't happen. Just coming over here to this tower. We're gonna make sure. So I'm gonna loop back over here with my friend. Make sure we can push this lane. We're gonna stay. We're gonna stay with him. Sorry guys, I'm getting a text.
I lend my aid.
There we go, big battle here.
Your team has destroyed a
Oh, I did. That was the wrong thing I was supposed to do. You're supposed to.
team has destroyed
You're supposed to
a
launch it around yourself. That was really terrible. Okay, so we've got that tower down. Rotate down here to Quinn.
Never waste a breath.
This is what you do. You just try to. We're doing really well. just keep
Your turret has been destroyed.
this is basically what you do. You just keep rotating around, keeping them on their toes, and then essentially
An enemy has been slain.
essentially that's it. You rotate them around and then keep them on their toes, and then eventually you knock down all their towers and you take over. You go back, you buy more powerful stuff with the money that you've gotten, and you do okay.
To heal and protect.
Let's keep pushing here. Let's keep pushing. Alright, these guys want to go over here. We can go over here. Sometimes, you know, people hunker down and they get really defensive, and it becomes really difficult to get this final push done. So you have to kind of back off. Can't always.
This is my
That was definitely out of position. One of my biggest weaknesses is being out of position. And I launched, also used a spell that I shouldn't have used as well. But they have like a tower here you can see, they have a tower here you can see, and then you're starting to get into their base. I always play a lot better in the early game because I know what to do for the most part, and then towards the late game I start making
Where am I needed?
really bad decisions, just like, oh, I'm freaking out, I'm gonna push this button. No, it's actually really, it's kind of like life. You know, I said earlier that people tend to play the characters in video games that they are in real life, and especially in competitive games where the pressure's on and you don't have time to think things through and plot things out. And that's true of my weaknesses as well. It's like, freak out. Trying to keep my friends alive.
A new journey.
Just pushing up here, trying to knock this tower down. Haven't died, so that's good. We're doing everything we can. It's like, when you don't know what to do, just when you don't know what to do, use all of your stuff.
Heal and protect.
There's some lag there. That's alright. So we can just keep this guy alive here.
This is my path.
We're just trying to find the right angle here. Everybody's trying to find the right angle to see if they can to win some major engagement here. As you can see, as the game goes on, the longer and longer you wait to finish the game, the more the other team go for it. Got him. Good job. I think that actually they have 4 of their 5 on. That actually might be the push that does it all. That actually finishes the game. So it's looking good right now. Go. God, you won. Look at that. Man, that was so long drawn out good. So the game is finishing. But I think that that's about all for us. So I hope that you enjoyed the content. I know the gaming part of it was a little bit long, but thank you for watching. Please leave feedback. I would love to interact with some people who think like I do and start up some conversation and get some ideas flowing and meet some new people. So please leave comments. Thank you so much, really. It's helped my self-esteem. Thank you. Be kind.